Brought to you by Express Care Health and Skin Center. Get in, get out, get better.
Okay, we are back on Healthy Living Tuesday. I'm Jason Salas, and I'm pleased once again to join to the studios here in Harmon our good friend from Express Care, Dr. Jitka Lom. Now, Doctor, we have a really interesting topic this week, something that is, a lot of people I know, they find out maybe by looking in the Guinness Book of World Records. We're talking about thyroid problems, and, like most of the things that we talk about here on Healthy Living, maybe a little bit misunderstood. So what exactly is the thyroid, and what function does it provide to the body?
So the thyroid gland is a gland that sits here in your neck. It looks like a little butterfly, and it is a really amazing organ to me because it basically determines your basal metabolic rate, your baseline rate of metabolism. So the rate at which your thyroid gland is producing hormone will determine the rate of your heart, the rate of your guts processing food, your brain metabolism, your muscle function. A lot of those things depend on your thyroid gland. So if the thyroid has a problem, it can become overactive, like the accelerator in your car going too fast, or underactive, and then everything slows down too much. So it's like the accelerator in your body.
Now, to a certain degree, does the thyroid also regulate growth in the body? Because if it's helping with metabolism.
It does. And it's one of the things that we screen for when newborns are born, to make sure that their thyroid function is normal, because without that, they will not grow properly. You're right.
Now, I mentioned anecdotally the Guinness Book of World Records thing in the beginning, because I remember, back when people actually read books, way back, each year in the Guinness Book of World Records, they'd have, you'd see like world's tallest man, and the guy would be like 8'5" or something like that, and they would always cite like extreme thyroid imbalances and everything. Now, fortunately, we don't have to deal with that and everything, but what are some of the issues that can come up with the thyroid that's maybe a little bit too dormant or a little bit too active?
Right. So talking about adults, in children, an underactive thyroid would cause decreased growth. But in adults, we have an overactive thyroid and an underactive thyroid, and then we also have growths on the thyroid gland, which can be tumors that are benign or cancerous. So the underactive thyroid, that's called hypothyroidism. Everything slows down. The person becomes very tired, heavy. Their hair begins to get very coarse. Their skin is very dry. They're just very, very slow, even mentally slow and depressed. Whereas an overactive thyroid, the person's wired, okay? Their heart rate is very fast, they're sweating, they're losing weight, they may be going to the bathroom many times a day, and they feel hot all the time. And
can that be a good thing? Maybe if in moderation a little bit, because obviously you would always have a healthy appetite, and
exactly. You're right. So there's a range in your thyroid function. For example, when ladies are pregnant, their thyroid function will change. Okay, during that time. So there's a range, and of course, people that are chubby would like to raise their metabolic rate to help themselves burn off fat, and sometimes that can be appropriate in a weight loss program.
Now, are there specific foods that we might want to buy more of at the market, or are there things that we can do to actually help strengthen the thyroid or make it more healthy, so in turn it makes us more healthy?
That's a great question. Well, the thyroid gland is very dependent on iodine in our diet, and it's a very sensitive gland. You need just the right amount of iodine. Iodine comes in Guam. We never have a problem with the source of that, because it comes in our salt, in our iodized salt, and it also comes in our seafood and seaweed that we might eat. So we don't have that problem of too little iodine. We sometimes have the problem of too much iodine in our diet, and that can poison our gland and make it work more poorly. Other foods that might affect us are what we call the cruciferous vegetables. These are like broccoli, cauliflower, the crunchy ones, that can affect the thyroid gland and actually make it slow down a little bit. Soy is also one thing that can make our thyroid gland slow down. So it's all,
really?
And some people are very sensitive. If they have a thyroid problem and they eat certain foods, it may aggravate their problem. Most of us, our thyroid is able to respond to what we're eating and either upregulate or downregulate based on what we're putting inside our bodies.
So even though the thyroid is not a brain, it's a pretty smart part of our body on its own.
Actually, yeah, very tightly controlled to by our brain.
Okay, well, we do have our Facebook questions, as we do every week. We've got some good ones for you this week, so we'll get to those as soon as we come back from this commercial break. So stay tuned. We've got some good stuff coming up right here on Healthy Living Tuesday. Stay